Imagine a world where you can create almost anything you want, layer by layer from scratch. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, welcome to the world of 3D printing. As some of you may know already, 3D printing is gaining popularity all around the world. And this incredible technology is transforming how we build, create, and even heal. In this video, we'll dive into this fascinating world and explore how 3D printing is changing our lives in ways you might not have imagined. We'll even show some real-life examples of some insane 3D printing projects that are in the works or are already being done. So, before we get into the exciting stuff, let's first take a look at what 3D printing actually is. You know how regular printers use ink to print pictures or papers? Well, imagine a similar machine, but instead of ink, it uses materials like plastic, metal, or even special cells. This machine is called a 3D printer, and it builds objects by adding layers on top of each other, starting from the ground up. And it all begins with a digital design that engineers load into the machine. These designs then come to life as real objects. Now, let's start with something big, literally. Did you know that we can now use 3D printing to build houses? Yup, entire houses. Normally, building a house involves bricks, cement, and a lot of manual labor. But with 3D printing, we use a giant printer to print the walls and structure of a house. These printers use concrete, a strong building material, and layer it to form walls and other parts of the house. The result? A house that's built faster and sometimes even cheaper than the usual way. Plus, these houses can have unique designs that are hard to make with regular construction. In the United States, a company called Icon is helping with housing shortages by using 3D printing to build homes. They've made several 3D printed houses in Austin, Texas that are more affordable for people. These homes are not only cheaper to build, but are also strong enough to stand up to tough weather. Icon uses a giant 3D printer called the Vulcan II. This device prints with a special type of concrete called lavacrete that is strong and good for the environment. Inside these 3D printed homes, you'll find everything you'd expect in a regular house, like living rooms, kitchens, and bedrooms. The cool thing is that the design can be customized, so each house can be changed to fit different needs and styles. This technology is super important because it helps solve the worldwide housing problem by providing a faster and cheaper way to build homes for people who need them. Now, let's talk about bridges. Engineers are using 3D printing to build bridges, especially ones for people to walk on. One famous example is a bridge in the Netherlands, which we talked about in our last video about artificial intelligence in civil engineering. This bridge was 3D printed with steel and then assembled like a giant puzzle. The awesome thing about using 3D printing for bridges is that it allows us to make complex shapes that are super strong but still lightweight. Plus, it helps engineers design bridges that use less material, which is better for the environment. The first 3D printed pedestrian bridge in the United States was revealed in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 2021. This 32-foot-long bridge, built by Branch Technology, shows how 3D printing can create strong, lightweight structures with really complex designs. Engineers use a special material called carbon fiber reinforced polymers to build it. This bridge is a great example of how 3D printing is changing modern civil engineering. But 3D printing in civil engineering isn't just for homes and bridges. It's also being used for all kinds of infrastructure projects like drainage systems, park benches, and even parts of highways. For example, in California, researchers are testing 3D printed pieces for freeway construction. The goal is to reduce costs and improve efficiency. With this technology, they can make stronger, more sustainable roads that can be built and repaired faster. The medical field is another area where 3D printing is making waves. Imagine losing a limb and needing a prosthetic, a specially designed artificial body part. Traditionally, making a prosthetic can be time-consuming and expensive. But with 3D printing, we can create customized prosthetics quickly and at a lower cost. What's even more amazing is that doctors and scientists are researching how we can use 3D printing to create organs. Yes, you heard that right. Actual human organs like hearts and kidneys. This process uses cells as the ink and prints layer by layer to create an organ that can potentially be used for transplants. This technology is still in its early stages, but it holds the promise of saving countless lives in the future. In the US, the Department of Veterans Affairs is using 3D printing to make custom prosthetics for veterans. These prosthetics are made to fit each person's body perfectly, making them more comfortable and easier to use. With 3D printing, changes can be made quickly, so if a prosthetic needs adjustments, it can be fixed and reprinted fast. The other cool thing is that 3D printing isn't just for big projects like houses and medical marvels. It's also used to make cool gadgets and everyday items. From phone cases and toys to kitchen utensils and jewelry, people are using 3D printing to create unique and personalized items. Imagine designing your own action figure or a custom phone case with your name on it. You can make almost anything you can think of, which makes 3D printing a fun and creative tool for everyone. And some people are even buying their own 3D printing machines to do this at home. So, now that we have talked a little bit about the types of things that 3D printing can be used for, let's take a look at how 3D printing actually works. It starts with a digital model, which is like a blueprint of the thing you want to create. This model is made using special software on a computer. Once the model is ready, it's sent to the 3D printer. The printer reads the model and starts building the object layer by layer. Each layer is super thin, and they stack up to form the final object. And, like we mentioned earlier, the material used can be different depending on the thing you want to make. We have used materials like plastic, metal, resin, and those special cells for medical purposes. So, if it wasn't obvious by now, there are a ton of reasons why 3D printing is so exciting. Here are a few benefits. First, speed. 3D printing can be faster than normal manufacturing methods. Think about when your car needs to be repaired, but you need a certain part to fix it. Well, imagine if you were able to print it overnight in your own home. Second, customization. Because each item is made from a digital model, it can be customized easily. Want a shoe that fits your foot perfectly? No problem. Third, complex designs. 3D printing lets us create complicated and detailed designs that would be really hard or even impossible to make with regular building methods. And fourth, reduced waste. Standard manufacturing often involves cutting away material, which creates waste. 3D printing builds objects layer by layer to the custom design, which reduces waste. But, like any technology, 3D printing does have its challenges. For example, the materials used for 3D printing can be expensive. Also, the process can be slow for larger projects, and the quality of the final product can vary. But researchers and engineers are constantly improving the technology. In the future, 3D printing could become a normal way to do big projects like building houses, making medical devices, and creating everyday items. Who knows, maybe one day you'll be able to walk into a store and have a pair of shoes printed just for you right then and there. And in civil engineering, the goal is to make 3D printed materials stronger and longer lasting. Universities and research centers across the US are working to improve 3D printed concrete and other materials. For example, engineers at the University of Southern California are developing new 3D printing methods to create tougher construction materials that are also better for the environment. 3D printing is a great example of how technology can change our world in amazing ways. From building homes and bridges to creating life-saving medical devices, the possibilities are endless. It's an exciting field that brings together creativity, engineering, and technology. So, the next time you hear about 3D printing, remember that it's not just about making cool gadgets. It's about shaping the future, one layer at a time. Keep an eye out for how engineers are using it to solve big problems like housing and healthcare, and how 3D printing is opening up new possibilities to help people. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about 3D printing and the amazing possibilities it's bringing to the world, especially in engineering. Be sure to check out our other videos, like the one about artificial intelligence, and stay tuned for more fun engineering topics. And remember to like and subscribe to our channel, because engineering is for everyone.